Hello everyone. On behalf of Solar Quarter India and First View Group, I am Priyanshi extending a warm welcome to each and every one of you to today's webinar on solar supply chain integration, mitigating risk and ensuring component quality. It's my pleasure to be here as your host. We would like to extend our gratitude to our partner HQTS, esteemed guest speakers, and the attendees for their valuable presence in today's webinar. Your active participation has contributed to making this event truly remarkable. We cordially welcome you to our webinar on solar supply chain integration, where we delve into the intricacies of mitigating risk and ensuring component quality in the solar industry. As the global demand for renewable energy continues to surge, solar power stands at the forefront of this revolution. However, the effectiveness and sustainability of solar projects heavily rely on the efficiency and reliability of the supply chain. Whether you are an EPC player, solar project developer, manufacturer, supplier, or an investor, this webinar offers valuable insights to help you navigate the complexities of solar supply chain, mitigate risk, and uphold the integrating of your projects. Join us today as we embark on the journey to explore the key drivers and challenges shaping the future of solar supply chain integration. May I now request Mr. Krishna Mohan from HQTS to share the presentation on Introduction to Solar Inspections and Quality Assurance. Welcome on the screen, sir. The screen is all yours. Please present your presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Krishna Mohan, SQTS Renewable Energy segment in SING, currently over India and overview. And first upon given is a introducing my and Krishna Mohan Renewable Energy Quality Inspection and Insurance in the inspection in the last 10 years working for. SQTS group for the vision, it is a renewable energy for the overseas multiple is a quality inspection companies. And maybe I will have to the present in PPT. HQ2S Group in the solar project management, ensuring the quality and project management and ensure the quality inspections, all thing is a provided in solution. It is a solar segment and all thing as like for the photovoltaic equipment and material supply chain, ensure to the material supplies the customers and the client vendor relations are good for the overseas for the relation maintaining challenges and sourcing the hazard in all things is a solution provided in inspections related challenges before productions. Several risks has the many rising before the inspections. During the inspection, what is the challenges created and these challenges, and what is a hazard for the conclude for the all thing is the inspections. As before the during production and communication challenges and China PV supplier and financially risk, all thing is concluded in all points. Next is a challenger during production. During working for the during production is what is the challenges created. As for the supply chain is a differences is a global supply chain orientation. What is the problem in created in the production time as our customers timely is not manualized for the during production and migrant supply this regulation regulatory compliance as like for the regulatory high construction quality maintain the quality deviation all thing is during the production is a inspection set. Challenges of the production, and after production is a what is the challenges in created just call as like for quality concern and production specification, mild reading, testing, reporting, and certificates. This copter replace reducing the quality. All thing is a segment in the after production challenges is a conclude, and all thing is a resolve in all challenges resolve for inspections and overview inspection for the photovoltaic raw material and third party PV modules, controls, and renewable as a next segment is the raw material, and all things we concluded during production, after production, and segmented quality inspection of the PV industries and PV industry PPI during production and PSI, ALS, and pre-production inspections and during production inspection and pre-inspection loading. All things is considered is all point in the my inspections views, and my inspections team and the our my companies represent in the all segment in solar and wind. All segment is a conclude for inspections, rotational work, and hazard. What is the challenges in the incidents? All managing for the process and industry segment as an industry process and the quality they maintain the as for standard quality deviation. All things is given the solutions. In the quality inspections, first my vision it is a workmanship. It is a good documentation maintained quantity verification. Quality is a must for the quantity verification and field test measurement. Others in the requirement as for the characteristics during extra segment and extra segment for checking as like for PV modules and deviation for all things is as for verification, quality verification during production after in the any for the point out note the quality inspection is a sort out in all things is the process. EPC project management service. HQTS is a EPC services for the maintaining for the as like for the procurement manufacturers and equipment supply management, manufacturing quality assurance, supply chain optimization, slide construction and commissionings. And company basically this for the this segment is the work for. And EPC is a given for the design EPC solution for the design and financially design engineering. My team is a review for the design engineering and financially planning assurance and busting cost and funding and investment in conclusion. EPC engineering, procurement, construction, all thing is inspection provided as a drawing review and inspections and PV module as a timeline for the planning PMC project management. All timeline is completed in project in and maybe consultation for the customers review and the solution provided. And procurement and manufacturing, we are the help in the procurement and manufacture. Procurement, I suggest HQTS is the suggest in the procurement this material is good for the our requirement, and the manufacturing the help it is a this equipment is as a quality standard for ensure for the HQTS in the manufacturing. This material is a good for the as an industry standard SOPs. And yes, as like for the supply chain optimization, supply chain maintain the during durations and supply management as a for the not for the conclusion the due storage for the supply chains, equipment procurements as for the customers is related what is the equipment is required, and all the procurement manufacturing is supporting in the solution provide. Construction and commissioning. HQTS, the pre-commissioning is a solution provided as for the testing, inspections, quality control, insurance, and health and safety, environment, compliance and solutions, and performance ability as for construction, pre-commissioning and the commissioning. Construction for the working as a solar PV is the stage by stage, the checklist follow SOP following, and maintain the all things process standard of process process and solar PV standard, ISO standard for the installations and the installer vendor. All thing is for the performance in next week pre-commissioning to the performance, completed the timeline project. And PMC project management is a PMC in the solution in the client satisfaction and success. And for construction management and quality is ensured to the quality, it is a 100% efficiency work for. Operation maintenance is a 25 years the work for companies other multiple. HQTS the solution for providing the HQTS generation. We can is a you can generation is a increases planning for support, performance analysis, and review for the corrective in the maintenance, review for the generation analysis, technical support and training, and engineer and technical person guidance is this standard for this SOP in the following as like for inverters and PV modules and transformer. And duration time is given for training and SOPs maintain SOP and the inverter checklist and the PV module checklist, and EMS structure and the trackers. All things is operation maintenance solution is provided. Is a maintenance weekly, quarterly, half yearly. All things is provided in the HQTS in the solution. Is my our client base. This client is providing the services as multiple clients in the India and the outside in country overseas, and multiple manufacturers in the solution provided. Multiple inspections companies work with me, and as like for big players the hope is I happy to the announces in the renew power is the 10 gigawatt is completed in the just this month is a 2024 is a April month. 10 gigawatts completed in installations, and next setup in the renew powers in manufacturers. It is my customer client base. It is my contract. Our office as for the my regional head office is a China, India. My multiple 25 countries is the office, and my head office is China, and regional office in India, Delhi, and United Arab, Spain, Vietnam, Malaysia, Uganda, multiple overseas. As for the new office setup in the multiple countries, and work for the another segment, and for the inspections, and all things work for the new segment in the starting. Is a thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful presentation. It was really great, and I'm sure the audience really liked it, and their emojis and thumbs up were really motivating. Thank you so much. So, let's move ahead and move to the panel discussion. But before we proceed, I would like to make a brief announcement. We encourage all attendees to actively engage in the discussion by posting their questions in the Q&A box. Our esteemed panel of the speakers will address these questions during the interactive Q&A session after the panel discussion. Without any further delay, let us begin our highly anticipated tech discussion for the day. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panel of experts who will share their insights and expertise on the topic at hand. Mr. Rajesh Tiwari from Hero Future Energies will be the moderator. Mr. Manish Arora from Bright Night will be joining as a panelist, along with other panelists, Mr. Krishna Arjun from Select Energy Systems, Mr. David Wang from HQTS, Mr. Arunav Uppal from Ampin Energy Transition, Mr. Krishna Mohan from HQTS. Now, requesting Mr. Rajesh Tiwari sir to take the discussion ahead. Over to you, Mr. Tiwari. Please take it ahead.
Yeah, thank you, uh, Solar Quarter, to organize such a wonderful panel discussion and the much needed discussion, which is basically required for the country. And this particular panel discussion will take all the members who are watching us to have knowledgeful session regarding the demand of India, and how we are going to cater with the quality and green energy. So basically, if we look forward, our Atmanirbhar Make in India, and also the contribution toward nation and globalization side, India is having a kind of 229 or 3 something around 250 gigawatt of forecasted demand by 2030. In that, we are would like to cater by something around 500 gigawatt of solar, uh, 500 gigawatt of renewable basically. As current, we are in 80 gigawatt of the solar power plant installation, and something of about 150 megawatt nearby we are reaching of the RE. So India have like tremendous growth. We have seen after COVID-19, we have established ourselves in a uh, multiple kind of, you can say, growth on the PV segment. Prime Minister vision was very clear, and some of the scheme, we can say PLI scheme, and some of the increasing tariff and some of the safeguard duty or other things has encouraged Indian manufacturer. Even ALMM listing and other policies, they have encouraged the Indian manufacturer and Indian developers. Now point is come to the quality of the product, how to ensure the product quality as well as the reliability of the system. When this system is going to be installed for 25 years, even 30 years on your PPA life, so there should be a kind of a supporting arm which can support to the developers. Uh, there is a noise, I think. So if they can support to the developers, so we have HQ team today. The wonderful presentation given by Krishna Mohan, sorry, and the kind of portfolio he managed, it's really kind of appreciable. This is the kind of company which definitely developers should look for. The starting from your equipment or the product selection, even you have deep dive on the raw material side, and then the purchase order, even the kind of project monitoring. So those things, if the kind of complete portfolio companies have, they can understand about the product reliability in the from beginning, uh, when it is getting manufactured, and then it is on the field. So about their lifetime, about their reliabilities and their application in. So I would like to call our panel member, Mr. David, for uh, give the kind of insight about how this HQ team is present, and what their solar inspection criteria on the China, when because many developers, we are importing module and even solar component from the China. So what the support HQ team can provide? If Mr. David, you can come and tell about the how to control the quality, and their what is your process, and what are the challenges you face on the uh, manufacturing at China's side. Yeah, Mr. David, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, Rajesh, you are very much audible.
Okay.
I think we are not able to hear David.
No, no issue. So let's wait a couple of minutes, I think. uh,
Uh, Mr. David, we are not able to hear you. Can you try to rejoin? Mr. Tiwari, by the time Mr. David rejoins, you
Yeah.
can move ahead with other panelists.
Yeah, Rajesh Tiwari sir, China is a multiple segment work. As for that, David sir is a response, but currently is not audible. But China is working for the cell PV cells, raw material inspections, and wafers, skin guard, and multiple customers is India, and taken the China countries in the overview is all things during production the raw material as for the polysilicon wafers and cell modules and glass is all thing is a purchase in China and set up in India is a multiple customers and working for China. Dravids are audible. Okay, maybe the David Saleh is a technical issues, connectivities are not connected. But I am currently is a lead in this project in the multiple China is a companies and work for the cell PV during production as for the manufacturers as customers and the customer given me the inspection as for the cell PV cell. PV cell is a module for the inspecting as for the brand this as for the like AQ Solar. AQ Solar is the international market for the leading for the solar cell and Akilo Solars in the Chinese companies. Solar segment 7 to 80% is the manufacturer have in the China, and 20 to 30% is raw material is Vietnam, and 7 to 80% is China is as like for the solar polysilicon wafer and cell and install is a manual during manufacturers and is a given for the as for the Indian is a, some companies purchasing in China is a cell the PV cell and the installation is PV cell in the setup in the manufacturing and the given by the modules. It is the HQTS is a help and supported as for the during production after production and the inspections is given is a order for the SOP standard for the as for the wafer which type is the wafer used and which type of the polysilicon is used for the standard quality and the PV cell what is a quality PV cells is a what is a quality for using for the cell and given is my spectre and the solar team is this for the office in the China is the duty inspections. It is the set for the our SOP. It is the our SOP solar PV. It is the liability for the testing and the quality testing for the inspections as for solar PV solar cell. It is a for the as a standard SOP and all thing is completed for the SOP standard and the testing and the all thing equipment is.
So I hope Mr. Wang has joined back. Uh,
Javed sir,
Mr. David.
maybe Javed sir, it is a not for the audibles.
Okay, no issue. So it's good to hear like EQ Solar and HQTS uh, have a good presence there. Uh, with respect to the let's say talk about the process of inspection. So mostly as a developer, they basically have kind of module supply agreement. Before module supply agreement, they want to visit their factory place, and some of the developers may have their visual inspection criteria, and some of they have their EL inspection criteria, some of the packing inspection criteria. So all these things, dimensional check and other things. So how and other part, if I can ask you about some of IECs, like there is a safety, there is a kind of salt mists, there is a kind of ammonia corrosion, and there is a kind of our lifetime. So in that aspect, if you can add how the China like the manufacturer uh, are managing, and you are like differentiating from the China. Maybe I can add further and ask you after Indian also, but if you can highlight more things on China aspect. Yeah, Krishna Mohan.
it is my answer it. China is doing production, and as for the customer is the agreement for the 10 megawatts of module supply in the India. Just it's example it 10 megawatt is the module supply. It is the during for the 3 to 4 back end work for as for the customers, and customer seeing is for the manufacturers the during please given me the HQTS group for the agreement for the you are working for the inspections as during inspections, after production inspections, and pre-shipment inspections, and as a logistic inspection. It is a PV module is a properly as for the cell is a using for the cell uses for the technical specification, technical criteria as for the how many cell is a 72 and 72 cell and 60 cell. What is the cell is the uses for the component and the biofacial, which type of the PV module is the ordering, and given for the my inspection is the as for, if any client is provide me the inspections SOP. Otherwise in the my inspection SOP HQTS in China team is the solar working. China team is for the describe it is this SOP suggest in the customer, is a EPC player suggested this SOP is a standard for the is a multiple organization work as for the multiple brand as for the Longi, Trina, and Akio, and brand that work for the this SOP is a multiple EPC player is already agreement in this SOP standard process in the following, and you are the I suggest it is the you are the follow the this SOP. As for the your question is for the cell type of SOP in the how can is a calculate for the cell, this cell is a good quality for the SOL. So this as for the like for the cell components, which type of the cell wafer, what is a wafer using and the polysilicon using, what is this for the depend upon the cell, okay, which type of the cell and the generating energy and the PV wafer, what is the wafer and the silicon uses, and last net to the future in the generating how many is the calculate for the solar PV is the generating in the process in the cell. It is the for the solar is the bus bar properly is the in case in the bus bar is the damaging is not connected in the properly bus bar, cell in the connected in properly bus bar, and the cell is outside in the bus bar, cell is not for outside in bus bar. Is a multiple ratio. It is a checking deeply checking during production my inspector and the inspection team. We can it is the for the ensure our team is this cell is a good connected for the manufacturing during production. It is a good for this condition.
Good.
Right,
Mohan, can you
right,
hear me
right.
now?
So, uh, perfect. So basically, on yeah, okay. So David also have joined.
Yeah, David.
Yeah,
Yeah, can you
I
hear
have.
me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, Mohan, to take my time. So beside the inspection in the production line, so we will also conduct some we call the production monitoring in the manufacturing process to verify if the material, people, and the equipment is ready during the fabrication of the PV module. So that means rather than inspect, no, beside the inspection at the final stage of the PV module shipped out to the manufacturer, our inspector or our supply coordinator will be involved to the fabrication process to conduct some audit and or inline inspection or inline audit to their all the process setting to make sure the setting of the equipment and the test requirement can comply with the quality control plan according to the original design. This is our second service beside the production inspection, beside the module inspection for that. So this is our two level. The first level is the pre-shipment inspection. The second level we call the production line monitoring, as Mohan showed in the production in the PPT. Also, we have other maybe service, more likely the new product development. At the new module development stage, we can provide the service to our client to conduct the we call the prototype test at the test lab. That means maybe before our supplier, before our client select some new supplier or new module from the new supplier, we can provide the service to the test, the lab test and the prototype test service to our client to make sure at the design stage you can get a good part, good component, or good part for solar project. So this is our the third level, the third level service. Also, maybe at the first beginning, we can how to say provide a service for the supply sourcing, that is to help them to find a good supplier, including the supply capability, qualification, audit, and also some due diligence. So some verification for their financial status, for their production capability, something like that. So that means our whole service is cover the whole product life cycle from beginning of the solar project, the design, to construction, and the final maintenance. So we cover the whole project life cycle. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you.
No, understand. So basically, on Mr. David, if you can, I understand about the production line monitoring. So if you can tell about some of the equipment side, testing equipment side, which
Yeah.
the more critical equipment as far as the product reliability, particularly about solar module, I'm talking. So, what are the equipment and what are the tests you see and validate in the China manufacturing?
You mean what kind of equipment must be needed in the manufacturer?
Testing equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, but for example, let's say EL test. Also, I will share. No, let me share here. The EL test and the PO test, or also the linkage test, also the soldering strings test. This is the key test item in the manufacturer. So that's a key equipment needed in the manufacturers to make sure the inline build quality can align with the customer specification for that. So
Right.
in summary, the soldering string test, cross-linkage degree test, we call the EVA or POE test, or the PO of test. Also, the key important the EL test machine in the key test equipment must be available in the manufacturers. Also, of course, this is the test equipment. Also, some lamination equipment also must be available for that, since this is the key process for the PV module fabrication.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will come back to you, Mr. David. Let me take a developer view. Basically, we have developers. So from developer side, if Krishna Arjun, uh, if you can tell uh, the process improvement or the kind of uh, module supply agreement, or even going beyond solar power plant, if inverter or other things, if you are importing from China. So what you are looking for as a kind of if any quality inspection agency is associated with you?
Yes, thanks, Rajesh. Uh, See, coming to our process of handling these imports, or even we have our own module manufacturing line where we have around 700 megawatt of module capacity in our location. See, quality in terms of quality, or having module, say, quality is a big term. Let me put in simple way. Quality is a big term where all the forces come together. When we say material, man, mission, and method comes together, we have the right quality in place. Now, for today's discussion, we'll just discuss on process, ensuring that material is always at a certain level of quality. So the process plays a major role in a module quality, whether we import the module or we made it in India, whatever that's the process. Uh, See, when we discuss the start from module assembly, it starts with tabbing and stringing. Tabbing and stringing is nothing but connecting cells together with a copper wire. So there the tappal strength or the strength between the copper and the cell plays a major role. If that strength happens, now the industry standard is 1 newton, greater than 1 newton, and and the backside people go for 1.2 newton. There is the peel strength between copper and the solar cell. If this strength is not maintained or it is deviated, then the module may not take uh, may not perform it to its desired level, especially where the climate is having ups and downs, like is day and night, where it's having a mechanical stress or thermal stress, and different material in the module are having different temperature coefficients. So it will weaken the module and the joint, and basically the module may fail in TC under thermal cycling. So like that, in if every step in our manufacturing process has its own importance and its own quality parameters to check in. And if you take after this stringing, we go for busing, where we say busing, connecting all these cells together to form a circuit in series or parallel combination. So this again, the strength or the joint strength between busing copper and the interconnecting copper plays a major role. Then the critical process goes for a pre-EL inspection, where we inspect any micro cracks or any cracks which we can't see with the naked eye, but we can see with our EL system. We find the cracks there, and it goes for lamination. And in the lamination process is the key process of a solar module. When we any company, to best of our knowledge, assuring that it goes for 25 years or 30 years. Yes, if you put the bill of material aside, then the key goes to the lamination process. If lamination process, the gel or the peel is not achieved to the desired levels, the industry standard now people are operating with a gel of 80% and the peel of 650 to 60 newton per mm they operate. So if these parameters are not achieved at lamination stage, and we'll be seeing delamination or an other couple of issues in the sea. And the same way, what how much potting material we're using, how much sealant we're using in the module. So this all plays a major role in terms of reliability and durability of a module. That's the first part. And the second, once we assure this, and how safe we are moving modules from our factory to a site and putting the module on a table, on a structure to generate power. So we see in India or the other parts of the world, they simply treat this as a glass. Just they can hold a glass and they just put on a structure, then it will start generating the power. But in this multiple handling process, they may generate some cracks or some visual real cracks which we can't see with the naked eye, but its module is somewhat affected in this process of handling from factory to the site. So these all precautions has to be taken. It's not only about yes, it's not about only manufacturing a module with a good material, good process, but the handling also plays a major role. In nutshell, what I can say is that uh, yes, quality comes with all together: material, process, handling, and way we process at our site. This all put together, quality plays a role. And coming to your question, that yes, how we check our modules when we import modules from other parts of the world, we always tie up with third party inspection, and we do our inspections at their stage. As rightly said the other co-participants, that before starting the production we check at material level, and during production we call it as PQC, process quality audit, and we do a pre inspection before dispatch. This all levels are much in place. But the point is, we make all this at the end of China, at China or the other part of the world. But at the same care has to be taken while we're installing modules at our site. That's the bottom line what I want to make. And I would put one more point here. See, now in our IECs or BIS or any standard, say EVL standard, there's a standards for module as such. But there is no standards or qualification for component level. That's another drawback, or everyone in the experts in the industry should think over that. And we need to have a component level certification or component level testing, as well as the module level testing. Module level testing is more or less fine now today. We're at some certain level, but component level testing has to be introduced in a solar industry to enhance quality from here to the next level. Yes, that's from my side, Rajesh.
Uh, Really, you got a really good point about the component level quality. Basically, the cell, EVA, backseat, glass, companies are like OEM are trying to build their facilities. They want to, like, even they are investing on the back end or up in like kind of manufacturing facilities. Uh, of course, there is, I think IEC is not saying much about those things, but there are kind of reliability tests, as you mentioned about pressure cooker test, or the kind of basically there is a kind of volume resistivity, even the kind of gel content measurement. So these things make a kind of system. Basically, already industry have seen last past, you can say, uh, 30-40 years. So we are in the development phase. Only the challenge is the technology getting changed very fast, and there I think expert like David, uh, they have the role. They are globally taking care, so they can suggest that what the technology change, and accordingly the bomb, particular bomb material, uh, what kind of test, or even what kind of other component can be added. So I think the same question I would like to ask Mr. David, if you can tell about like the changes in the technology from monoperk to topcon to now SJT or something. So what is basically as in China, people are mostly exporting or importing in India here, and what are the tests you suggest, if you can?
So my comment is that so since maybe the sale, industrial and technology increased a lot. So from our inspection side, so the inspection company side, so we have to emphasize that maybe the we call the component level qualification or test before they can introduce new technology, new component with a new technology inside into the current design, PV module design. So from our perspective, so any new technology or any new process on the component level, like the cell, like the class, or so we would like to suggest to the client to conduct the test before they can introduce new process or new technology into the design. So that is that is one key. I'll say we call the module qualification or component qualification for the glass, maybe for the cell. So should be in place in order to make sure the quality can be assurance during the fabrication. So so far, HQTS fixed on the inspection process, not the fabrication process. The new technology for the cell, so we still emphasize that. So before any new technology introduced to the current design, we should conduct the maybe robust test, prototype test before they can introduce. Of course, so in our production modeling inspection, also including pre-shipment inspections, our inspector or our supply quality engineers will fix and verify the material certification. That means after we complete the test and qualification for one component, with including the including the glue or also any material in the bomb. So we need to check the certification of the material before they can introduce to the production. So that is the gating we set for according to our service. So that's the key. So again, the key focus of before any new process or any new material introduced to the PV module or any other component of the solar project, we would like to suggest the client to maybe conduct more prototype test in the lab or any get some how to say certification is better. Okay.
All right. So, uh, in prototype test, basically, it takes time as well. So, the technology is changing yearly. So, how, if you can tell like a particular about reliability test or how much time it's required?
So depend on the standard requirement. If the client has any confidence to some supplier, maybe they can reduce maybe according to the ISO standard. You know that, right? There's so many long-term test items. So
Yeah,
that
right.
means maybe at least maybe over 1 month for test. If you want to complete all the tests for that, so maybe basically, so our client can maybe select some test item according to the past experience of the supplier history, according
Yes.
to the past module. If they introduce the module, to verify what kind of test item should be selected for that. So that is why any new supply introduced to the solar projects, they need to share with us some of the past quality history, and we can work with them to identify what's the test item needed in order to reduce the test lead time. So this maybe the time is a value also. So we can work with the supplier to according to the ISO standard, to IEC standard, so to verify what kind of reliability test should be conducted. So also we can maybe depend on the solar project location, we can identify what's the local temperatures level. So to identify what is the temperature should be selected for the lab test. So okay, okay,
Got it. Right. So
yeah.
basically, there are accelerated test as well. So we'll would like to hear from Mr. Krishna Mohan. So basically, in India, when we because domestic manufacturers also have, and there are policy and compliance regulation. So if you can highlight some of the point where the policies and the compliance are necessary, and how you are ensuring those compliance are getting done by the developers, or you are supporting on that front, if you can explain on that
Yeah,
something.
first of all, thank you for asking, Tiwari sir. And first of all is ensuring for the component is instrument and the electrical and accessories. Is the first of all check in the SOPs for the calibration certificate. All instrument is the check upon the calibration certificate. After is if any case instrumentation is old and the for the instrument not proper for the working, for the replace for the as a current standard and the policies. As for the PV module, for the some is the policies in the changes. For the inspection is some policy and the criteria is the changing, and multiple backend is the changes in the current scenarios. As for the PV module inspection, before work for the as for the sampling for the hot spot and the cracks for the PV cell crack checking and the PV module inspections, and back seat and back end for the PV module as for the diagonals and for the bus bar cracking nomenclatures and the all thing is the number numbering for the all thing is a coating as for the standard for the coating checking. For the bus bar is a minor in the major coating is the different path. It is a for the during production is a, not for the inspection is a highlighted. If any case is the inspection is not a highlighted, it is the for the this is a minor issues the for the impact in the generations. In the how can we is a decrease in for the is a major point to the conclude for the some minor point is a close for the all thing is inspections. And for the asking you question is the government policies in the inspections. Government policy is a must for the Indian government is the locals. For as for the third party inspection is a mandatory for the as for PV modules, inverter testing, and pre-commissioning testing, and transformers, all equipment accessories is a multiple as like for EMS module mounting structures, and the galvanium hot dip galvanized and the galvanized, and PV module is a third party inspection is a third party is ensure for the all PV module is a properly production and the manufacturers and the not a defected. It is a government policies. It for the all thing is a work for the ensure for third party all equipment and component is a good for the reliable in third party inspection is approved. It is can be used for the yeah, first upon the this scenario is the Indian government, the local market. Local Indian solar market is for the multiple changes in the currently in scenarios as for inspections during production or a vendor assessment as for the vendor for working installation proper for the installation working for the installation team for the guidance and the supporting for third parties for properly is the installation. And workmanship is good for quality. Workmanship is a good for the already it's depend upon the generation the workmanship is a installation is a good practice for the generating is all things is a overview of the inspection is a good.
Right. So this is like one of the point where you have to see that as per ALMM approved, uh, what are the like kind of companies are, and which project you are going. If it is open access, it is a kind of PPA with the government or under bidding under section 63, under section 64. So basis on that, there should be a selection of the component and even the BIS inclusion. So whenever like any new product getting added, like if your local manufacturer wants to bu- uh, introduce new cell or particular new kind of component, so there should be a kind of BIS inclusion. He has to apply and he has to get the BIS approval. uh, of course, BIS agencies or authorities, they have to take care about when they are including that particular component. So they should either visit particular this existing this cell or this kind of component, how long durable, what is their reliability. That I think during ALMM, the agencies are doing, but BIS time I think they take a sample and do. So there is something gap which I have seen. But of course the manufacturers are taking the BIS. So here I would like to hear from the one of our developer and panel member, Arnav. So if Arnav can give some insight on the imported, like sorry, the domestic module. What is the kind of inspection procedure, and if any like kind of durability test or something kind of HQ can support. So those things, if you can highlight, Arnav. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rajesh. So I'll just start with the quality. Basically, quality is nothing which states the reliability of that product throughout the end of life, basically the 25 years in our case. So here there are a lot of parameters which we need to just set before proceeding with the quality checks. So proper QAP, EL criteria, visual criteria, IPQC, all these things has to be properly agreed with the manufacturer or OEM. Then we need to just basically ensure the raw material inspection, the BOM of that the material, it has to be properly checked. in such a way that it will be the manufacturing meets the desired quality of the level, right? So basically, I mean to say the BOM material are tested to ensure the raw material which are used for the manufacturing meet the desired quality level which we have agreed between the parties, basically the OEM and the developer. Second is like in process quality inspection, that the in process quality inspection is performed to ensure that there is no quality glitch or concern arising out during that process completion, or there is no deviation at that different stages during that manufacturing. Then the third step comes pre-dispatch inspection based on that AQL lot by sampling. So what we need to do, we need to just select the random sample from the pallets and check as per the AQL criteria ISO 28591, where the IVEL, HIPOT, and other tests will be performed for this inspection. Then the most important thing is the data validation. Data validation of the PDI with the manufacturer provided data, that we need to just ensure so that we can, and authenticity of the data which the manufacturer gives, and what we just get it from that third party. So is there anything which is like we can nullify the chances of error also before going to the site? Then the last comes the MDCC, was that there is no issue in that data which is like provided by the third party partner and basically the OEM. Then we will just check as per the equal it is passing through that criteria, whether it is pass or fail, then the MDCC will be provided. But these are the normal process, like 4 steps which we generally follow it for the local solar inspection. But the most important thing is like the NABL accredited lab in house to ensure that reliability testing. There is a lot of reliability testing which we need to test. See, type test is fine, which they can get it from that all that like local or basically overseas partners, that testing agency UL or TUV or CA or STS. But the most important thing is like in-house reliability testing should be also there, so that quarterly, like once in a month, so they can perform that test like the LETDID, LID, PID, then the cycling test also, damp heat test. Then these tests are very much important to understand what are the module which is coming from that line, whether that product is having a desired characteristics which they have submitted as per that type test certificate, and it will last for 25 years or not. So these are the primary thing which is very much important for all that ALM manufacturers. They should have in-house reliability testing where we will perform this thing, because while sending it to the third party lab it will take time also, and that that solar project works like with a very thin timeline. 9 months, 12 months is the maximum timeline they just provided for the commissioning. So during that time it is something which is very much important to have these tests in house so that we can validate the reliability. The most important and the challenging thing what we faced is like see, the pan file. So pan file is again a very difficult and I would say it's a very tough subject to understand everything. So my suggestion is like all the pan file should be tested. So we should verify these tested using samples selected from the site directly. Any 2 3 samples we can just select it from the site which is going, and we can just give it to the third party to have a desired result. Because there is something which is like there on that pan file, but at actual we are facing some different losses, and there are some other glitches which is happening. So to avoid all these things we should have that thing. Second is like absence of on-site testing for the received modules at site. We should have some infrastructure where we can have that on-site testing for the received PV module, so that we can understand. See, you can ensure that all that cracks and other parameters of visual at the lab or at the manufacturing end, when it goes to the site, what is that handling, as Mr. Krishna also indicated in a similar way, how much we are ensuring, what is that handling we are doing it at the site level. Manufacturer will give you based on that agreed QAP or the EL criteria or the visual criteria, but how you are handling at the site also, that is very much important for the quality perspective and the longevity and the reliability perspective. So these are the things which are very much important. But the challenge is, last thing is like the reliability testing for some special test has to be there in that OEM's site, so that we can have a good quality product from the local solar site. So these are the things which are very much important for having a quality product. Thank you.
Perfect. Very well explained, Arnav. I think there is like the step which you have mentioned about the in-process quality and IQC and FQA. So that is the part, but important is the how product is performing at site. So that about the due diligence and either particular test. So I make and say like some of the test people do like there are IV curve measurement and they are doing on the sample basis. So there is a kind of your power analyzer and kind of some measuring equipment. So on that basis they on sample basis they measure, they disconnect the module string and they measure and they check the performance with the sample like you can say with time stamp. Even some of the drone companies having images, so they take about thermal imaging at field. And if there is a kind of some hotspot or some kind of any connectors, those are having a higher series, so there can be also having a thermal effect and that can be checked. But now important is like if you found that okay in the field it is not performing, there is a hotspot or even maybe the string is not coming as per the desired or rated output, so then what type of binding you have, how you have mutually agreed and what kind of module supply agreement you have done. So on that aspect basically there is a some basically we can say gap, because there are several parameters which are other. So how you are how you have handled the module during installation, what is the kind of your radiation, so if you do the radiation correction, temperature correction, soiling correction, those things also. So those things ultimately how you handle, and those things that need to be taken care. So I think Krishna Mohan, if you can tell on something on this. Yeah.
No, sir, no, sir. This is a all. My question is how can is a increase in the PV module in the generation, sir? It is all thing is a good, but how can we can is a plant installation and the plant is after is a multiple is a client is a query for the how can we can increase in the generation. Already is a suggested, but is a customer is a what is a different. You are for the work for the different type is a increase the generation. The weekend is a my question this segment. How can is a increase in the PV module generation? As for the I will have to the customer in the suggest in the multiple times you are the properly cleaning, not generating. Please maintain the PV module in the cleaning and the hot spot PV curve and analyzer report and inverter. Please inverter cabling and all things is checking stringing properly connected in the module to modules. Otherwise, is a multiple time is a check it is MC4 connector is a one for the all thing is a for not for the generating in the properly. This type of my question it. How can is an increase in the generation? In the quality aspect, in quality ensure in the quality. How can is generating the PV modules? Yes, Tiwari sir.
So see, actually, it's a very important. Like when you do the feasibility study, at that time you should be very well designed. Like if you can able to use the solar tracker, then definitely you are going to gain get the benefit. And also with solar tracker, there can be a kind of bifaciality gain. So one of the important aspect like how you are measuring the bifaciality gain. So there are in data sheet, if you see the bifaciality gain in terms of power, but power is basically V voltage and current. So basically, you are not building a double junction. You are building a single junction, and you are saying that this is a gain on power. So this is a gain with respect to current, and now current, how you are able to capture the photons. So if you have like proper albedo and proper reflecting surface, so those all things are different. So there are multiple things While if you have done your energy yield assessment in the modeling stage, very carefully you have to select all the things, and then you have to be like soiling parameter and all that you have to manage accordingly. So this is the point. Yeah. So let be move on our topic. So basically, there is a one part of the supply chain risk. So we understand about the quality things. We understand about the how the process is set up. Now, part is the supply chain. So we have Mr. Manish Arora. If we can hear from him that what is the challenges and what are the supply chain uh, associated risk he observed, if he can explain. Manish, over to you.
Yeah. So, thank you, Rajesh ji, for asking this question. Basically, that the logistics risk and challenges. So, as a supply chain professional and based on my experience, I can say that supply chain department is full of surprises, right? And if there is a any smooth transaction happen, then without any hurdle or challenge, then it is a surprise for us. So a supply chain manager can mitigate the risk, but with good sourcing strategies he can follow, but he cannot remove all the challenges from the systems, right? So, uh, so coming back to your questions on the major risk part in terms of deliveries and the quality, uh, the material delivery may be delayed with various reasons, like sudden change in prices may happen when you talk about the sale prices and the module prices in China. So there is a the prices are very versatile on daily basis. It is changing, right? Currently fluctuations effects also come into pictures with these kind of a changes. Logistics is another issue. Political reasons diverting sometimes some of the times that manufacturer is diverting that material to the other customers due to better prices. We have faced such kind of issues. Delay in production also may be the reason. So these, my point is that these risks can be mitigated by a supply chain manager or procurement manager by with the careful planning he can do. He will plan with very good due diligence for the supplier selections who is dispatching that material, and the contractually we can sign a very good contract with incentive schemes we get. The penalties also can be drafted in under the contract, and a good freight forwarder we can select and to ensure that the material will be dispatched on time. He will take care of all the custom clearance, everything will be done. Proactive, all risk management, all risk related issues, strategies can be followed. But but there are some challenges we are facing in daily or regular, you can say, transactions in supply chain, which is beyond our control and impacting the deliveries are one of them is regulatory change. So in this case, a sudden change or relaxations by the government in the duties and extra charges may create a rush on the board. So struggle will start on that day itself when notice will come to us, right? And all the containers prices will shoot up in a single with a single notice. So such kind of a changes, it is beyond our control. A supply chain management only manager can only means mitigate all those risks which are there and uncontrolled. Regulatory changes we kind of it is beyond the control. Sometimes we have faced an issue with the deficit of the containers in China port. So there are shortages of containers in China. If there is goods dispatch from India and other countries to China is less as compared to the material dispatches from China. So then there at that point of a time there will be a shortage at the China port, and we are not able to get the containers on time. So there are few more any force major like storm in summers it will come, and then the delivery period, which is 18 to 21 days, may take another a week or may go beyond 30 days also. And there are many challenges will come on daily day to day life. Like one of the I can share you one very good example. Once upon around last year it was happened. Our material got delayed because one model manufacturer was struggling with the availability of the trucks, a local trucks, due to the high demand of mango and chili in Hyderabad. So and he was not dispatching the materials just to because he has considered the costing of 50,000 or 60,000 approximately at a truck price, and it was coming around 80,000. So it was intentionally it was delaying. So there are ROWs. Once upon a time means once around 2 3 years back. I remember when I was in Europe also some local people stopped truck. So supply chain management. I think supply chain department is a full of challenges, and there are so many risks can be mitigated, but the challenges you have to face, and with those challenges you have to put contingencies in terms of there are because any new out of the box challenge will come to your desk and you have to handle it. So these are the supply chain I think challenges what we are facing on the regular basis. There are some other risks which are related to the quality, and at the same time quality as Krishna Mohan and HQTS team has suggested with the help of Anurag also has suggested that you have to put all the contractual quality assurance rejection criteria. You can select a good supplier with bankability and reliability scorecard. Everything can be done. Good quality bomb can be selected. Cell efficiency will be good. Good inspection agency can be adopted. Third party lab test also can be put it. And after that, strict rejection criteria also can be added into the agreement. But after these all things, still we need to. I think I would say that still there is 2 points which I want to highlight and need to be improved in terms of risk management. The first thing is uncertainty of the lab result, which is currently on a higher side. I think this needs to be improved. If you are purchasing 580 watt peak module and type TopCon, which is a and that lab test with the uncertainty, the result may come beyond 20 watt peak difference also may come, and you have to accept it. You don't have any other choices. So, and apart from that, you Rajesh ji also highlighted one good point where we were talking about the time of the test reports which will come, because when the production will be done, the PDI will be done, then at that point of a time we will send that module into the lab, and the lab and you have a pressure of the from the plant side, project side, that you need that material at site, right? And you cannot delay, not delay the dispatch clearances, right? And at that point of a time you cannot wait for the lab test report, right? And after lab test reports, if it will come around, let's say it's after 7 days or 10 days, you cannot wait for that. So these two things I think we need to improve. At least the results should be dispatched or confirmed for all the EL and flash reports. So there are, I think, time of the submitting the reports and uncertainty of the lab results. These two things in terms of quality assurance, I think needs to be improved.
Definitely right.
Yeah.
So very well explained, Manish, about the supply chain and logistic risk. Uh,
This is David. I can add some comment about the logistic problem. So far, in the worldwide for the PV industrial, so one logistic key challenge is that so many some we call the policy issue. So will how to say impact the supply chain. So for example, for some EU solar project or USA projects, they cannot buy the component including the PV module from China, from some local national company from China. So that's a key challenge that so we call the white list supplier list. So for such kind of Western USA project or EU project, so they just only can buy the component and the PV module from the supplier in the white list. All the supply in the white list cannot be the national company or China national company. That's key challenge for most of the supplier or our clients. So to find a good supplier. So that's a key impact for that. So that means that if the PV module supplier want to sell the module to the USA or EU solar project, they must provide some evidence to show they are not the national company. So that is one thing we can help our China. We are working with our supplier. We have a program to working with a supplier as an independent agency to help the solar project manager to identify if they are okay or not, to make sure they are in the white list, not in the black list. To make sure that we call the policy issue, policy barriers to how to say, to impact the supply chain for the logistics rather than quality. Okay.
Right. So basically, the policy issue, and like if the US or other countries, they make some anti-dumping or some kind of safeguard, so that also impacts. And then suppliers are looking forward where to sell, in what price they have to sell. So then every supply chain get disturbed. And even
Yes.
in India, basically there is a kind of earlier it was also even this is the basically the project time is very less, as Arnav has explained. So their last 3 months you require a material, and even in last 3 months you want a 50 megawatt, 100 megawatt kind of container shipment, and then from your custom to your site, those things were not able to reach timely, and then you have to unload it quickly, and then you have to again return back. So these things are one of the challenges where like India has to basically we are in the we have developed our road transport network, we have developed our goods services, but there is still like kind of from custom to the kind of renewable power. So green power should get some kind of different way or different kind of weightage for clearing out the custom and other things. So this is a
Okay.
very good point, Manish, you have highlighted. Yeah. Uh, Moving to the particular about Krishna Mohan, if you want to add something on in Indian environment on the logistic side or supply chain side. Even one part was the insurance cover and other. Yeah, Manish, you want to say?
Yeah, I was just asking the questions from David also this on this part.
Okay.
Are you working means as is HQTS team is working on the improving the uncertainty of that lab test results, or anything you are going to improve means anyway you are going to improve the, the test report time.
So, David, this question for you. Uh, yeah, you are in mute. Please unmute.
Okay.
Yeah. So this
Hisham,
is
so
yeah. Okay.
what's your question about that?
uh, you want to understand about the testing and test report. Are you validating or how you are like the lab test report? Is it right, Manish?
Again, I'm just repeating my questions
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
If time allows, Rajesh sir, if
No,
it is
it's
okay
okay.
with
You
all.
can. You can.
Yeah, yeah. So David, my question is basically the lab result will come with some uncertainty, right? Some kind of a percentage you have. I put it on the bottom of your lab test reports that this is the uncertainty values. Let's say 1.6% to 3% approximately value. These you are mentioning it. So my question is, are you, which is a concern for me. What I am doing it right now, I am putting a more sample for the test, and my cost is increasing of the testing to get the average, and after that, I am just putting it into the contract to get this get the rejection criteria. So my question is, are you improving? Are you working on this part to improve the uncertainty, to reduce the uncertainty? You can say this is question number one, and the another question is. Means if your team is working on the time to submit the report.
uh, Now some our HQTS program, so we are now building the what we call the lab partner to conduct the maybe the lab test for the PV module. So now the we call the lab network already built, already in place. So that any customer want to test, so we can maybe find the lab resource to conduct the test. So so I'm not sure my answer. I answer your question or not, since I did not get to your point. So, what's your comment or concern? Is the lead time of the test report, or maybe the test resource are not be available or not? So, I'm not sure what's your question. Rajesh,
Yeah,
can you help me? Yeah.
yeah. Lead time is my question first thing, and the second question is about the uncertainty value. Are you working on? Am I audible, Rajesh sir? Right?
You are audible, but some noise is coming, Manish. So,
Otherwise, I'll try and answer this.
okay.
Uh, see, Manish, see, uncertainty of a flash testing, one means power measurement of the module. What you're referring to is, I'm correct, right? That's what I
Yes, yes,
understand.
yes.
Yes. So uncertainty, see, all this, any lab in India takes the reference module from Fraunhofer. So Fraunhofer is like the mother lab for all these labs for the solar module testing is concerned. So the golden model is tested at Fraunhofer, and Fraunhofer gives an uncertainty of around 1.2 or 1.3 kind of number. I don't know the latest number, but they give that. So on that, like with that module, we again test our internal lab, whether it is TU, UL, or whatever lab in India or any part of the world. They test that module, and the uncertainty will go from 1.2 to 2%. And because already the uncertainty is like, it is like normal in our screw gauge and multimeters or any other instrument, we take it for physics lab in Delhi, which is where the master equipment is calibrated there. With that master equipment, we calibrate the lower level equipment, and then so master equipment is having uncertainty of some percentage. Then that percentage will add on the lower level of the module. So in that sense, today in all the labs, wherever we are working, is having a certain uncertainty which is around 2%. And earlier this is not a big concern in the industry, but now it is becoming concern in industry, because if 2% is down in 550 watt peak or 600 watt peak, straight away we are downing by the wattage which is failed condition. But earlier this 330 watt peak or the other lower full cell modules, we are not having much impact. To mitigate this or to avoid this, the golden module should be directly calibrated with the Fraunhofer, not with the internal or the Indian labs. So then we can reduce the uncertainty in a flash testing report. That's only the way to look at it. Yes.
But even after that also, Krishna Arjun, even after that also, if the material has been dispatched, the production has been done. Now you have to accept it or reject it based on the third party lab test, right? And you are sending that material to the third party lab, and at that lab, in the result, it has come with the uncertainty, as you are rightly said, it is 2%. And if you are purchasing a 545 watt peak, if it will come as 535 also, then you have to accept it, right? So,
Mm.
so, my question from the HQTS teams: are we working on to reduce that uncertainty value, so that it will be beneficial for all of us? Because right now, what we are doing, the one solutions you have given, the another solution is you have to dispatch, or you can say you have to test more than 10 modules, and then you have to take the average, right? To reject that material. So there are two, three options, which was rightly said by you. But if to reduce the cost, can we send one single module with the less uncertainty that is beneficial for both the industries, right? That is my
No, no.
question.
Yeah, yes, what you said is right on theoretically, but the practically here, the sun simulator or the testers what we are using in the industry is different from different. Say, suppose different lab use different testers, and the different testers are having a different uncertainty again and reproducibility. Even though all the testers are qualified with international standards, but they have their own variations. So this all put
Limitations.
together, the wattage came into picture at the big number. This is making big thing, but it is pretty much there from the industry from long time. Like we need to find a breakthrough on this.
Manish,
Yes.
Manish already is a production and manufacturers already lab is a setup. Is a my internal inspections team is a going for the this lab already is a manufacturer and the production house in the lab setup, and the master lab is a government approved China government approved lab. It is the solar in case in the solar PV is irrigated in the any confusions and the logistic damage and the if any cases logistic damage and transportations and the multiple issues in cases. So if can is a yes for the Indian is a Delhi office Delhi near regions by the lab setup and the Bangalore near regional is a lab setup in the solar PV. It is the first upon the Longi and the China is already in the internal lab setup. It is the this report match in the this report matching for the Delhi or Bangalore this report for the pen copy and hard copy and the one sample PV module is the going for the this lab and the we can be the check it is the what is the deviation, what is the difference. And second question is your for the report is lab report is the 72 hours in the provided in the lab authorities and our inspections and the logistic and the inspection during production all things is the inspection report is a 24 hours delivered by internal teams. I hope is your
Okay.
question is how things is
Yeah.
successfully.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So, great discussion. We have a question from our audience. I'll just display it on the screen and any one of you can take it. Please scroll down to read the whole question.
What exactly he want to question, like, was 100% of electrical test as per your agreed either PDI or in process quality check you can do. And basically, as per IC, already Krishna Arjun has explained,
Mhm.
like this is basically you have to take a golden module from Fraunhofer, and from there you have to create a silver module. And even there is a basically how you are keeping those silver module. So there should be a kind of black box where you have to keep the silver module, and every shift and even basis on your frequency, you have to do the calibration.
Okay, great, sir. That answers the question. So, with this, we come to an end. A big thanks to all the esteemed speakers for this wonderful session. We will come back with such exciting topics. Thank you, all the audience and panel members. And a big shout to our attendees for extending their time and support for this event. As we conclude this event, we are sure that we'll be back soon with more exciting sessions. So the floor is now open for networking. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye from our end. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tiwari.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for everyone given me the at times.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.